The father of a 14-year-old girl hospitalized after getting stabbed on Friday is now speaking out. And cyber attacks are increasing across America. Now the debate is in Washington on how to stop them. Plus, the U.S. might fall short of reaching President Biden's July 4th goal of having 70% of Americans vaccinated. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I am Nishay Taylor. A 14-year-old is still fighting for her life tonight after a brutal assault which took place on Friday in the parking lot of a strip mall in Fargo. Today, doctors say her condition is worsening. Valley News Team's Aaron Walling sat down with the girl's father, who's wishing for his daughter to continue fighting.
And she doesn't deserve this punishment.
The condition for the 14-year-old Jupiter Paulson has declined since her attack on Friday. Paulson was found that morning after allegedly being stabbed 25 times and strangled by 23-year-old Arthur Prince Colley. According to her father, Robert, doctors are saying today that her brain cells are dying off and that they're having a hard time getting her brain to react to certain tests.
Right now, the fight is truly on her. I mean, all the prayers and love that I've received through the community is very appreciated, and I just want them to keep coming, of course. But right now, she's in the fight of her own life, and she's unresponsive to most activity.
But Robert wants people to remember that his daughter is more than just a victim in this senseless act.
She was always so kind and loving and caring, always helpful, especially with her youngest brother, who's just 2 years old, and she always wanted to be around him. Always wanted to be around her sisters and her other brother. And it's just a hard time at the moment.
Her dad also pointed out that his daughter was good for cracking a joke. This has been hard for the family, who now have to wait and see what happens. Robert said he would do anything to help his little girl.
I just wish we could trade places. No child deserves to go through stuff like this.
Full of life, just started a job at Arby's, played instruments, and loved skateboards. As her dad put it, his daughter is a sweetheart that didn't deserve this. In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
A GoFundMe has been set up for Jupiter. For more information on that, go to our website and just click on this story. Meanwhile, a vehicle caught on fire along Interstate 94 West near the 45th Street exit. Flames and large plumes of smoke could be seen. The fire caused traffic on I-94 heading towards Bismarck to back up for miles. According to Fargo FD, no one was injured in the fire. It is believed the fire was caused due to a vehicle mechanical issue. Since the fire was situated close to the West Fargo border, both WFD and FFD responded. West Fargo Fire Department was first on the scene and was extinguishing the fire before Fargo FD arrived. FFD assisted by controlling traffic. Starting tomorrow, North Dakota Department of Transportation crews will be beginning a concrete pavement repair project along I-29. Crews will be working on the interstate between Main Avenue and 19th Avenue North. They will be repairing deteriorating concrete panels and installing pavement markings. During this project, the left lane going southbound and northbound will be closed. Speed limits will also be reduced to 40 miles per hour in that construction zone. Drivers are encouraged to find alternative routes when possible. And your morning commute could also be delayed tomorrow beginning at 7 a.m. 17th Avenue South will be closed to through traffic between University Drive South and 14th Street South. All traffic will be detoured to 18th Avenue South. Construction crews will be doing necessary street surface repairs. The road is expected to reopen by the end of day on Tuesday. Moorhead Public Schools and the YMCA are partnering to provide summer meals for children up to 18 years old. Starting tomorrow, students can pick up a meal each day. Breakfast and lunch can be picked up Monday through Thursday at several parks and elementary schools in Moorhead or at the YMCA on Monday and Thursday. Special diet meals are available. Just contact the Food Services Department. We have all of the pickup times and locations on our website at valleynewslive.com. The YMCA of Cass and Clay counties are working to ensure everyone stays safe this summer, as many are eager to get back to normal. The organization is kicking off its summer sessions for swimming lessons starting tomorrow. A variety of classes are available for children 3 to 15. The Y will also host a Water Safety Day event on July 11th. And those swimming lessons may come in handy, as Fargo Park District's pools are opening for the summer beginning tomorrow. All 5 outdoor pool locations will open at 1 p.m. The pools will have a 75% capacity this summer. Visitors are encouraged to arrive early, practice social distancing, and come prepared with swimsuits on to help limit the number of people in locker rooms. Meanwhile, the United States is giving 7,500,000 COVID-19 vaccine doses to Taiwan. The announcement was made after a delegation of U.S. senators arrived in Taipei today. This is according to Taiwan's Central News Agency. The group's visit to Taiwan is part of a larger trip through the Indo-Pacific region. The U.S. plans to share tens of millions of vaccine doses to countries around the world. Cyber attacks are increasing across America against governments, hospitals, universities, and private companies. Now the debate is on in Washington on how to stop them. NBC's Jennifer Johnson reports.
Last week, a ransomware attack briefly shut down one of the world's largest meat suppliers. Last month, gas shortages and long lines at the pump after an attack on Colonial Pipeline. The Biden administration says Russian criminals are responsible for the cyber attacks, as lawmakers debate how to stop them, including slapping new sanctions against that country.
You really have to treat Russia like it's virtually a criminal enterprise.
Right.
They harbor criminals. They don't appreciate the rule of law.
The Justice Department has launched a new task force to prosecute cyber attackers, treating ransomware cases with the same priority as terrorism cases. But the Biden team says companies need to increase their security and not pay ransom.
We need to send this strong message that paying of ransomware only exacerbates and accelerates this problem. You are encouraging the bad actors.
Colonial Pipeline, which supplies fuel to 45% of the East Coast, paid its hackers $4.4 million. Lawmakers want greater transparency as more big companies are attacked.
We ought to put in place, and we've got bipartisan legislation to do this, to require that when companies get attacked, they notify the government. There is no requirement right now.
President Biden says he will press Russian President Putin to crack down on cyber attackers when they meet in Geneva June 16th. Putin has called the allegations nonsense. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
The FBI says it's currently investigating about 100 different types of ransomware. And a technical issue forced the vice president's plane to return to Joint Base Andrews today, shortly after takeoff. VP Kamala Harris was headed to Guatemala in Mexico when the plane had to turn around 30 minutes into the flight. The plane landed safely and the VP gave a thumbs up when she got off. She switched planes before heading out for the 3-day trip. This will be the first trip overseas for Harris since taking office. As part of her trip, she plans to focus on the root cause of the spike in migration at the U.S. southern border. Former President Trump delivers remarks at the North Carolina Republican Party's 2021 Senate convention. Speaking in Greenville Saturday night, Mr. Trump recounted his presidency while criticizing the Biden administration. He also addressed various issues, including the border crisis, the pandemic, the economy, and foreign relations. Former President Trump also announced his endorsement of Congressman Ted Budd for U.S. Senate. And a federal judge overturned California's long-standing ban on assault weapons. The judge wrote in Friday's ruling that the state's definition of illegal military-style rifles unlawfully deprives law-abiding Californians of weapons commonly allowed in most other states and by the U.S. Supreme Court. In the 94-page ruling, the judge also praised the AR-15 rifle, describing it as an ideal weapon and comparing it to a Swiss Army knife. Leaders, including California Governor Gavin Newsom, have criticized the ruling. On Saturday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said the decision must be overturned. A solemn anniversary was commemorated today in France. Veterans, officials, and military personnel gathered to remember the Americans who died on D-Day exactly 77 years ago. The ceremony was held at an American ceremony in France near the beaches where U.S. troops landed to begin the Allied invasion of Europe. A total of 4,414 Allied troops lost their lives. 2,501 of them were Americans in the D-Day landings. Later on Valley News Live at 10. The U.S. might be falling short of reaching President Biden's July 4th goal of having 70% of Americans vaccinated. But first, we may be needing to keep our eyes to the sky as severe storms could be on the horizon.